Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bubblegum Reviews. My name is Steve, and tonight's review will be Monster House with, you got John Heder, Kevin James, Steve Buscemi, Fred Willard, Kathleen Turner, who else? Jason Lee, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Nick Cannon. So it's got quite a recognizable cast as far as that goes. My favorite people in this are Nevercracker and Chowder. Nevercracker is played by Steve Buscemi. Chowder is played by somebody I've never even heard of before, but he's great. I also like Kevin James' character as the cop. I mean, for the most part, I actually kind of like everybody. The only one that I don't really care for, I guess, would be Maggie Gyllenhaal's character. She kind of annoys me, but that's all right. Overall, this is fun. The music for this movie isn't great. It's not terrible. It fits the movie. I'll give them the credit for that. The music fits the movie, and that's good. Uh, so this movie was like a horror film that came out, one of like the first animated ones or whatever. But I always thought the Black Cauldron was technically worse than this movie. Um, so my favorite part in this movie is the beginning when mom and dad are getting ready to go on a trip, and they're like getting in the car, and mom's like, say goodbye to him, say you love him or whatever, and dad's just like, we're getting the hell out of here or whatever. I won't say it, honey. That whole little scene in the beginning was the best part in this movie. It was the funniest part. I don't know about best part, but it was the funniest part in this movie. It was great. And the dad being Fred Willard, it just that part had me cracking up. So also in the movie, interestingly enough, it just seems that nobody hears the loud noises the house makes. Nobody hears the kids constantly screaming and making noise. Nobody hears any of this. Like, you got the babysitter right across the street who doesn't hear a single thing. Um, Also, nice pick on the babysitter, mom and dad, unless it was like totally his choice of, oh, she lets me do whatever I want, so this is cool. Like, she totally had the good girl thing going. Then as soon as she got there, she takes off her shirt and her sweater, and she's got like a punk rock and all that, and tells him he can't have the phone or any of that. Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I kind of remember not the punk rock thing, but a babysitter that we had that was kind of like that, that would let us do whatever and all that. So that's pretty funny. Um, the I want to say the story. I'm pretty sure it's. I feel like the story is the part that I feel like misses it a little bit. Like, there's part like the what I just said about nobody in the neighborhood hearing any of this, but yet it's all right next to them. That, like, how does did you think nobody would notice that? Like, I don't know. I know it's a kids movie, but at the same time, you had to make this for adults as well, considering it's a horror film, and a lot of parents are like, "We're not taking our kid to see this." But anyways, uh, what was the other thing? There was one other thing on top of my tongue. Yes. So no, I can't remember. No, no, no. I guess that was it. Sorry about that. I just had to remember because I got so much filed in here that I'm trying to remember everything. So I do have to write some stuff down. But anyways, so yes, the animation. There we go. That's what it was. The animation on this. I kind of was reading through people's reviews, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, I don't really care for the animation in this." I'm not opposed to this animation. I actually like it. To me, it's like Paranorman and The Box Trolls. A little different than The Box Trolls, but I love The Box Trolls movie. That was a really good movie. Uh, it definitely has like Paranorman. Speaking of which, that kid reminds me of the main kid off Paranorman, reminds me of the main kid off of this. But yeah, the animation to me was fine. I enjoyed it. I wasn't opposed to it. I mean, there's other animation out there that I like better, but this wasn't bad. It really wasn't. So, anyways, director, we have Gil Kenan. Never heard of this guy, but apparently he's one of the writers for the new Ghostbusters Afterlife movie. IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 75%. I give it a 6 out of 10. Like I said, this movie is enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth a watch. I wouldn't mind hearing what you think about it afterwards. Story by Dan Harmon. Dan Harmon was one of the creators slash writers from Rick and Morty. I'm a Rick and Morty fan, so I thought this was a little interesting fact almost. A little interesting. Box office of 141.9 million on a budget of 75. So this movie did likewise numbers to Soul. That Soul movie being the one that was released straight to Disney Plus. I feel like part of the reason for the numbers being so low for this is because, like I said, scary movie for kids. I don't want my kids watching that. And just Soul, Soul was done during the pandemic. So with that, the numbers were lower. I feel like if Soul was released in the theaters on normal time, it would have had about 350, maybe 400 million. This one, I'm personally, I thought this would have made about 250 million, but 141, I mean, pretty much doubling budget of 75, that's pretty much double, so that's not bad. The only interesting fact that I was able to find was that this movie took place in 1983. You can definitely see that in a way. I mean, the car that the parents drive off in, I believe my mom had a similar car to that with the wood panel siding on the car. But yeah, other than that, give me just one sec, be right back. Okay. And I'm back. Okay, so up next was going to be this movie right here, Used Cars, with Jack Warden, Frank McRae, and Kurt Russell. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming up. And other than that, I guess that's it for tonight. You guys have a good night. Like and subscribe, and check out my Letterboxd. And yeah, stay safe out there. All right, have a good night.